At this point in the training kit, we're going to go ahead and pause working on the face for right now and go ahead and start to do some work on the feet as far as getting the claw textures ready to go. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to Photoshop, and the area that we're going to be working with in this video is the claws. Okay, and that's actually these more spread out UVs, this area right in here. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a new layer. Okay, let's call this claw. Okay, so in this claw layer, let's try to pick a color that's kind of yellow. Okay, maybe got a little bit of a gray to it. Let's try something sort of like this, maybe even a little bit lighter to start out as the base color. Okay, so let's say like 185, pretty much all the way through for RG and B. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll pick just a nice solid brush color. Okay, so now in this claw layer, what we can do is just come in and paint this yellow color in right at the very tip of these claws. Okay, and we're going to have to do that on all four of these claws. Now you're going to want to make sure, like what has happened here, that I've went outside of this white boundary with this yellow. If that ever does happen, what we'll probably have to do is probably follow up with the eraser tool, and we could always come back and just erase this out. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue back around with the paint tool. We'll go ahead and get all the claws on all of these feet. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get this claw. Continue on around with this one. Let's grab this, and like I said, you'll probably need to follow up in a few places with your eraser tool just to make sure that you don't go beyond this boundary, because otherwise what'll happen is you'll get this claw texture fading in and actually bleeding over into the skin in a few places. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this foot. Go ahead and get that one. And it looks like I'm probably going to have to follow up with the eraser tool in a couple of places. Okay, one shortcut that is very useful whenever using your eraser tool, or your paintbrush tool for that matter, is holding the shift key. So go ahead and make your initial click, hold down on the shift key, and then click again. And what this will do is go ahead and connect the 2 points where you've just clicked. And what that will really let us do is these areas that where we need to follow these straight lines, to very easily do that. So if we have to paint very precisely along this straight line, we can just click once, hold the shift key, and then click again on this side, and Photoshop will pretty much go in and do all the work for us as far as removing all the paint in between. Really nice and handy to have. Okay, so let's go ahead and zoom out. Make sure we didn't miss anything. Okay, looks like we got one more left to do. Go ahead and paint this guy up. Let's go ahead and get this last texture done. Okay, so now let's go ahead and save this and see how this looks on our claws. Reload this texture, give it a moment to load up. Okay, so now our claws actually have a bit of color to them. And I'm just going to look over this real quick and make sure I don't have any color from the claws bleeding over into the foot. Okay, everything looks okay there. Alright, so in the next video, we'll continue adding some detail to this claw texture.